Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Netley Thompson. As always and as usual, I am joined by my platonic lover, Kristian Lasham.
It's very colourful in here today.
It is very colourful. Yeah. I'm wearing salmon, and I mean the fish, not the colour.
I can smell it.
It's very colourful on there.
Yeah, that's primarily what I was talking about, was the backdrop is particularly colourful. Everything else is the same.
True. True. This is hardly the first time this jumper has made an appearance. Hello, Tomb. How the devil are you? You seem to be the only one here. So thank you and welcome.
Seems we've lost all our support today.
Yeah, I know. Fuck the lot of them. It's fine.
Got exciting announcements too.
Oh, thank you. I like I don't handle compliments very well.
I've noticed this about you. Yeah.
Well, I just don't know what to do with compliments.
Yeah.
It's because I look like a slob.
It's best just to. That's why I think it's best just to take the piss out of you and call your names.
I don't handle that very well either.
You handle it better.
Well, that's just usually I just respond with "and you're a cunt."
Yeah, I'm still handling it better than having a bit of a.
See, you are here. What was with this lie in the Discord that you weren't going to be here? You're here. You're here.
Yes.
Anyway, how are you?
Me?
Yes.
I'm fine. I'm great. I'm alright. Had a burger.
We did. It was a very good burger.
And then watched a video about a better burger.
Oh, no. It was very upsetting.
Yeah, it's an
like,
error.
we had a very good burger.
Mm.
It was very nice. And then kind of retroactively, it tasted like shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I did it with you. I was there. I remember.
It was very odd because it was a very nice burger. Particularly for the amount of money.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Okay. So it was a very good burger, and then we watched a video, and it was just like a Gordon Ramsay burger, and it had steak in it. It was ruined by mushrooms, but it had steak in it. Like, if we were to make it, you just wouldn't put the mushrooms in, so it's fine. So we thought, well, that's how we've got you.
You're here for an hour.
Because you're here for an hour. It feels kind of weird to be called Ali. Yeah, I'll never do that. So
I'll be honest, I forgot your name was Ali.
And
I thought you were called Tomb at birth.
I will confess that is why I would never call you Ali either, because I forgot that was your name, and by the end of this episode, I will have forgotten once more. So it's fine. Oh, Hannah says she's horribly ill. I now feel particularly guilty.
Feel bad.
Are we coming out the speakers? We are.
We are.
It's fine. But it just never normally happens. It's fine. I now feel particularly guilty for kind of tempting you in with an announcement, especially as it's going to be at the end. So if you are ill, we understand. Get better. Get rested. You don't need to linger around to watch a couple of morons talk about a moronic movie.
Gosh.
What's the movie?
No. I'd say it's kind to the movie.
This is Admit One.
While you do that, I am going to fix something else with this, because this is going to cause more problems later, and it's probably already caused some others. So you continue.
There's also a notification behind us.
Updates are available.
This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can join the chaos and carnage that is our conversation over on the Discord. Tomb has said, "Did we like the sketch we made?" We did. It's great. Thank you very much. What are you talking? What are you doing?
I heard it banging, but I think it was my imagination.
Probably. Can you squeeze? I'm pregnant. And now you can follow us on Instagram at Rabbit Hole Media _UK, and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that will only get wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way in helping us bring you the show that you love.
Yes, it does.
So as I say, Hannah, feel free to leave. We won't actually be offended. I didn't realise you were ill. I just assumed you
want to do the
were busy.
announcement now if she's here? You know? Even protest was doing F9 week. I mean, do you want to do the announcement now? Why
was there a protest? This was obvious for 9 weeks.
She wanted us to do Hobson Shaw first.
Oh, I see. Yes,
But
yes.
obviously we're not doing Hobson Shaw.
We're not doing Hobson Shaw because that also fucks up for the announcement. Should we do it now? Just because Hannah's here? Hannah has come?
I'm happy to do
Hannah's
it now.
come? Well, give it a minute. Make sure. Let us know if you're still there. You might have gone already because you said you were going to leave in protest. So if you're still here, let us know and we'll do it now. Before we get
wait.
into the... We'll wait. We'll wait.
How long do we wait?
I don't know. We might get a message in half an hour.
That's a good point.
But I don't want to start and then...
Oh no, don't bother with that. I went to the cinema. She's still here. Jack once and lost use of my arms for 6 hours.
Hannah is still here. So, we are to announce what we will be doing.
Yes, because this is the end of Fast and Furious.
This is the end of Fast and Furious, so obviously we've got content to do. And because we only had 2 weeks and then Halo was meant to happen, but then the Americans are very xenophobic against Britain. So we don't get Halo until the summer because they put it on some wanky service that doesn't exist anywhere outside of their own xenophobic walls. So here is what we will be doing for the next 12 weeks. Pride and Prejudice.
I'm so happy with that joke.
No, obviously we will be doing X-Men, including Deadpool as well, of course, because we got to go have some good movies.
Yeah, and we wrote
Within
down...
that.
Where did you write them down? We wrote down the order. Oh, here they are. They're here. It's here.
There is there.
So just to make sure everyone is aware, 12 weeks. It'll be X-Men, X2, Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men First Class, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, Apocalypse, Logan, Deadpool 2, and then finally Dark Phoenix, which I've never seen.
It's not great.
I've heard. Point is, I've never seen it. So, you know, that just makes for a more interesting...
Sourced on me.
Makes for a more interesting conversation when the time comes.
For sure. For sure. Would it be chronologically or by launch? By launch, because chronologically it's all over the fucking place.
I mean, it's all over the fucking place anyway.
Well, yes, that's true.
But even more so when
Because did First Class happen in continuity of the others? They think yes, but also it doesn't make any sense if that is the case because, like, the aging from James McAvoy to Patrick Stewart happened in like 4 years.
There are many things that don't make sense.
I'm going to be honest, a lot of those films are shit. I agree.
Yes.
But that's why we can't only do stuff we love. But we also picked X-Men because they are all on Disney Plus, so no one has to pay for anything.
There's a number of reasons behind the X-Men. We needed 12 weeks to fill.
And this was conveniently 12.
It's all on Disney Plus, so no one has to pay for anything, so everyone can take part. We know not all the films are good, but some of them are. So that means we get one of them, I'd argue, is one of the best films ever made.
I agree, and I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
I feel very, very strongly about that. And those episodes are always good episodes for us. And the ones where we hate something are good episodes as well, because we can just rip into something for an hour, which is also good fun. So we get the best of everything. And
What?
we discussed, this was discussed the other week, and you had the exact same exclamation that Tomb doesn't get Disney Plus.
I don't remember.
How?
I don't remember this. Hence the exact same reaction.
I do remember.
I apologise then.
Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by the shouty man, obviously Patrick Stewart's return is coming up.
For the Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
So it seems fitting to watch his journey.
Yes, even though his journey will carry on past when that film releases.
Probably, yeah.
So there you go.
So that'll be fun.
Indeed.
It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. Come and join the ride. But of course, there will be the Saturday shows as well. These are the Tuesday shows, not the Saturday shows. They'll still be the main ones. Where the fuck is Richard?
No, who cares?
we are here, of course, to talk about. Yeah, he did deny it after the trailer came out. But anyway.
He has reconfirmed it. He has confirmed it since.
Yeah, but in some form of like senile way.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's like, it was my voice, wasn't it? Yes, Patrick. Do you not remember doing it? It's my 40th in 2 weeks. You should do... Oh, that time's up with 100 as well. But still probably not, I'm afraid. We've got plans for 100.
Yeah, you should tell us these things further in advance so we can turn them down further in advance.
Should we do an episode of Parasite but not watch it? Just as we guess.
Sounds preferable.
It's pronounced preferable.
You're a cunt.
That's two. I've already said it.
Rich isn't here to gatekeep. I don't care.
We are here, of course, to talk about Fast 9, the Fast Saga, as they call it, or Fast and Furious 9 within the credits, because they can't make their minds up on what these fucking films are called. General thoughts. What did you think?
I thought it was a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, absolutely is.
It goes obscene. Like, I know we've been getting more and more obscene, but okay, guys, take a little bit of a step back here, because now we're getting ridiculous. Like, it's a whole nother level. And then it's all like, it is just also so fucking fractured. It just feels like so much of what happens just feels like, okay, great, that was a coincidence, wasn't it? Just putting in people and characters for no real reason. Like, there are many things that could have been anyone, but it happened to be that person, didn't it? And it just bounces through everything so quickly, and so many events that happen. Where it's like Vin Diesel goes here to talk to a man for literally 5 seconds, to then be arrested, but not actually be arrested. And it just goes boom, 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 through all these points just to, get the character from one place to another without actually giving any reason for that to happen. It's very messy, and I think it lacks drastically. And although, again, there's some cool action sequences, I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say good action sequences, because, again, it's all a bit over the top, but cool action sequences and some quippy lines and some funny moments and stuff. I think that is all kind of just glossed over by the mess of the rest of it, personally.
I would go as far to say good action sequences. I like them. I enjoy them. I know they're nonsense.
Yeah,
and they're
fair,
fighting against the logic of their own movie.
Yes.
But I do enjoy them. I think they're some of the best ones we've had in the movies. They're definitely on par with a lot of the...
I guess
the
in terms
latter
of
ones.
the quality of the stuff, yes. I think constantly I was just thrown out of it by... We've had a running joke on this show. We've been doing it of just like, you wouldn't survive this stuff. But some of it was just like, oh, come on. Really? Like, we'll get into it, obviously. But the one in particular that you warned me about as it was about to happen. Like, just so many... Are you... Okay. All right.
I forgot what that was. Oh, yes.
Like, there are so many moments which like, okay, all right.
They become superhero movies.
Like, and I've been okay with the superhero movies to a point, but now it's like, okay, now you literally have super strength. What the fuck is going on now? And I know they kind of have this like almost fourth wall breaking thing where Roman through it is like, kind of, we're invincible. How have we know? And I enjoyed that they kind of like just recognized the fact that it's a bit insane, but just that lack of little bit of grounding just took me out of those sequences a little bit. So it's like, it doesn't feel this is right place for this. So just basically, if Vin Diesel didn't pull down an entire concrete structure, I would have been okay.
Nah, I like it. I like the fact that there's a real possibility at this point that it could just turn around and Doctor Strange is there.
Yeah.
Or like Iron Man shows up. Like I like the I like the fact that it's just ridiculous, because those are the types of movies I like. To be fair, if you want to break it down, the entire MCU is nonsense. But
yes, but explained in a science within that universe.
So is this clearly.
It's
It's
not, though, is it?
not explained, but neither's any of neither's any of these superhero movies.
As it is, we know within that universe that these people have superpowers. Like,
we've been learning that over the course of these movies.
I disagree. We've just been learning that it's obnoxious.
I'm fine with it. I enjoy it. Actually, it's the polar opposite reason that this isn't one of my favorite ones. Is because it tries to go too serious.
Does he try to go too serious?
Yeah, all the flashback
Oh,
stuff.
tone-wise, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, tone-wise, everything is like...
Which makes... I don't think this is
Every
much more ridiculous than any of the previous ones, but because 50% of the movie is so tonally serious, it stands out way more.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I think the tonally... And all the flashback shit is just that.
I hated that.
It's shit.
I hated all of it. And, you know... Every line that Dominic says in this film is like overly dramatic and like metaphors and stuff. Like,
Even the way he talks to his son.
yeah, it's like fucking
who's like
talk
3.
properly, man. Like, why have you suddenly started talking like this? Like, you've had a few quippy metaphor lines in your but suddenly you're just not talking in English like anymore. You know? Really? It was weird. Weird.
And even normal sentences, he just rearranges. Always in here. Tell him. Say it like a normal person. Tell him I'm always in here. That's the way you speak. There's a structure. There's rules to language. They may have been inspired by some of the TikToks. Possibly. But yeah, it's my main issue. We're clearly in spoilers now. But
I've done that.
My main issue with this movie is all of the flashback stuff to try and... That's the problem when you do shit like this by suddenly saying after... nearly 20 years that you've had a brother you've never even once mentioned, is like you have to kind of fill that in, and it's kind of the Uncharted 4 problem, and suddenly you've never mentioned a brother before, and that seems unlikely. That seems problematic, and now you're having to shoehorn it in. And it's the same with this. Obviously, just the end result with Uncharted was somewhat better, but I never like it when they do that.
I would say the reason that the end result with Uncharted is somewhat better, though, is because you spend the entire game watching the relationship between the brothers.
For sure, he's not the villain.
Yeah, and even though he has like some
Antagonistic
moments in it, you still have time that you actually spend time with them together and them talking about the fact they haven't seen each other for so long and everything else. This film doesn't have... He's barely on screen with John Cena, his brother. Like, there's not much actually happens, and there's not much that happens between them. And not everything we do see between them, we see in flashback scenes, and even then there's not very much. So you're not actually given much time to kind of learn or understand a relationship with them. And, you know, for me, this is just examples of where I thought they would fall down since Paul Walker, in that I think these films have been at their strongest when it's been centered around his friendship with Brian. And obviously they can't do that anymore, but what they're trying to do is give him someone else to be close with, but having to shoehorn it in and not giving you the time. They had quite a few movies to work that out with Brian still. You know, you see him kind of learning and gaining a friendship with him in the first one, but he's still then kind of reworking it out by the fourth one and stuff. You know, they're treading thin waters still. It's not just a quick, we're all chummy. Yep. There is an element of, you know, but this did happen and these things did happen, but I'm going to trust you here, and, you know, building that friendship. This just doesn't have it. There's not enough time with them together for that to have that. And then let's say those few moments you do get, nothing really happens.
No, for sure. And I think the issue is they made him the villain as opposed to they just brought him in as a character. And
that, I think, is an issue for a number of reasons, because that's also seemingly just what the villain plotline for most of Fast and Furious has been.
They do that, then there's a moment where they switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, every time. That's why we still have Jason Statham around, and that's why we still...
It was clear very early on, where it was like, well, he's going to switch back and be with them by the end of it, isn't he? Like, it's clearly going to be that way, and it'll be the same thing, and they'll do a little glance across each other from the cars.
Yeah, and the problem, as it proceeds and carries on doing that, really... What the fuck is going on with my elbow?
Very red, isn't it? What have we done?
Don't know.
Doesn't look as bad from here. Looks a bit weird, but looks worse on there.
Anyway, but the problem with this keep happening and escalating, and every single time this is what happens, is that because they have to ramp up the villains, it becomes less and less believable that they would forgive. And like...
Yeah, like we said about Statham.
He murdered Han, or, well, didn't, but thought he had at the very least, and they thought he had. So,
I didn't like that.
Really?
I didn't like how it was not really explained away. Really,
It was explained away
it was
enough.
just kind of like Mr. Nobody dealt with it. Okay, fine, fair enough, I guess. I would have liked to have gone into more detail. What did he do to make that work?
Yeah,
though?
but-
like, what did he do?
But I guarantee if they did that, though, you would have been like, oh, they spent too much time explaining
Probably.
this. There's too much exposition.
I think it's more just kind of like it feels like this is the second time. In a way, it feels like it's the second time Han's been brought back.
I get that, but it's not.
I know it's not,
Yeah.
but it feels like that because the first time we didn't know that it was that. Well, at least I didn't know it was a situation of like Tokyo Drift actually being set later. I don't know what that was like at launch.
Oh, yeah, no one knew.
Yeah, so I feel like it feels like it's second time to be brought back. Oh, okay, Han's back. Okay. And it's fine. I like Han. He's a good character, and he works well within the team. It's nice to have him back on screen, and they've done some development with him as well, which
Yep.
I liked. It was more just kind of like the cop-out kind of...
Yeah, no, that's fair. I enjoyed that because I like Han. He's one of my favourite characters, and I was very not obviously with Fast 4. I knew at some point he was going to go again, and I can't be in this forever, unless they're just saying Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift didn't happen in the same continuity. That's what people assumed. They just assumed that it didn't happen because it was a spin-off, and it was the one that you could drop out, and no one care. But I like Han. I enjoy Han, so it doesn't bother me. I'm just with these movies, I'm willing to be a massive hypocrite and accept all the sorts of things that I would absolutely say that a movie is bad for. At all times, I will do that. I'm just because I go into these movies, I switch my brain off, and it's good fun.
Oh, these are brain switcher offers.
I actually critique these movies more when I'm watching them with you, just because it's funny. Although I got very little interaction from you this time. It was very sad.
I zoned out for a lot of it. I found the pacing a bit slower, and I wasn't quite...
That's because of the flashback.
No, yeah, I had a huge problem with the flashback scenes. Number of reasons.
Me too.
A, it drops the pacing down, but B, it's like the entire time I was going, it's like, well, that's not...
They're just not that interesting.
Yeah, they're not interesting, and also like the characterizations is like, you're clearly not Vin Diesel. And I was like, I want to watch Vin Diesel though. You know, I'm here to watch these people. I'm not here to watch you pretend to be badly. You know, the first time we saw that character, I sort of went, oh, is that supposed to be Dom? I mean, I guess he's bald.
Yeah, my
Like-
my thing is they brought characters back in to it from like the first movie, but younger versions of them, and just made them like they didn't have any distinct personality traits that would be able to, so you can tell them that's who they're meant to be, or even just Vince's tattoo. They wore exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, these are like 10, 20 years apart. Like you can. That would be 12 years because it was 1989, wasn't it? And the other one was 2001. Dominic Toretto had a rough 12 years to turn into Vin Diesel. But they all wore the same thing. Like, if you saw a photo of me from 12 years ago, I do not look like this. For one, I wouldn't have any tattoos. I wouldn't have a beard. I'd be thinner. And I'd be dressed abysmally. But...
Well, one of those things hasn't changed.
Wow. All right, Mr. Wookiee T-shirt. Yeah, I really didn't like the flashback stuff. I think that was a massive error, and
Totally agree.
like
Couldn't agree more.
They were just so serious and like, look at me, we're a drama now, and it's like, fuck off. No, you're not. You're a ridiculous movie about two guys in scuba suits driving a car to space. Like,
I didn't like as well that it did like kind of those flashback scenes kind of did a little bit of like the Han Solo problem, a little bit of like showing you things
explaining too much.
like we don't really need to know. Like we've heard the story that he beat a guy to death with a wrench. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to show us it, you know.
Yeah, didn't he?
We
He
know
didn't kill
that's-
him though. It wasn't beat a guy to death. It was just beat a guy with a wrench.
Either way, you know, it was like we know that's a thing. We don't need to see it.
No, I know.
Kind of the mystery of that's better. Mm-hmm. And now when you see why, fair enough. That guy was a fucking dickhead.
Oh yeah.
Like, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I would have fucking twatted him as well.
But then that kind of then takes, I would argue, takes away the meaning behind that kind of story of, you know, that like, well, he once beat a guy up with a wrench. That kind of has like a bit of fucking hell. You beat a guy with a wrench. Why did you do that? Be careful of him. And then you find out why. It's like, oh, yeah, fair enough. Everyone would have done that.
Yeah.
I think anyone would have happily done that. So, don't matter. I don't care anymore. It takes that kind of meaning away from it a little bit. And I didn't need to see it. I didn't need to do anything.
The Han Solo problem is absolutely a way to do it. And I think there was a way to get all of the information across in like one opening flashback.
Yeah.
You didn't need to split it up and condense it. And also, we didn't need the race one. With the one where they had a race and he had to leave. You could have had that in like a piece of dialogue or something. Like, or just Dom gave him the chance to leave instead of turning him in. Done. Don't need that waste of time flashback. You could have just done one scene that was up until the death, and then maybe a little bit later in that dream sequency bit when you find out that he cut the line and whatever and did it because his dad told him to, whatever. Like, you didn't need all of these little flashbacks for other things. Because as you said, it completely ruins the pacing. And they're so tonally wrong for this movie. And it's just like, well, yeah, but I'm not really on side with anyone in these flashback scenes. Like, you're all being dickheads. You're all trying to be well-hard and taking everything too seriously. You're trying to make everything, like, justified. And you're meant to be on his side. But you're just like, well, I get, yeah, fine, I get it. But he did something his dad asked him to. He obviously had no idea it was going to result in a fucking fireball or his car was going to conk out at that moment. Right at that specific unpredictable moment, so that it ended up in a crash that caused the fireball. Not exactly his fault. So you're like, am I really meant to be sympathising with Dom here? Because I kind of get it. It seems a bit extreme. His response to it being told to go away was extreme. In that he becomes a massive super spy and just follows Dom's
they
history.
Didn't really explain how did he get to that either. Like, obviously there was a thing that he was an agent for.
Yeah, but he worked his way up through the government and then just went rogue.
Yeah, I suppose.
The same way they don't really explain how Statham is incredible. He's just the American Jason Statham at this point with hair and taller.
Don't get me wrong, I like John Cena. I said, don't get me wrong, I like John Cena.
I like John Cena as well. I actually think he's good in the movies. I also think he's pretty funny.
Yes, he is. He's got a very good sense of humour.
So I enjoy him. It's just most of his comedic roles are with actors I can't stand.
Yes.
Which is because that's most comedy actors, to be fair. Ironically, I think actors in comedy movies are usually awful. And then you get the funnier people from elsewhere. You get your Chris Hemsworths, you get your John Cenas, who I think are both hilarious, but they're not doing the rom-coms and the straight comedies because they're rubbish.
Agreed. Just want to highlight what Toons pointed out there, what you said. Haven't seen the movie, but they went to space in scuba suits.
Yes.
That was another thing. I was just like, come on now. We're just getting so obscene. I just find it really hard to kind of connect to it.
I didn't. I loved it.
But there was some funny stuff around it.
I loved it. It was great. But I love the fact that that's just a preference thing. Because I agree, it's fucking mental. It's so stupid. And it's laughable. I love it.
I get it's a preference thing. I agree. As I said, for me, it was a case of I couldn't connect to it.
No,
that's
fine.
Oh, come. I know we've been like over the top in these films, but then it just gets to a different realm of like. I liked that there was this, secret spy thing to it. I liked that going on, but this has now got to like such a high level.
I do admit I would have preferred it if it wasn't in a car.
Yeah. So just to give Toon the context there of they're not like in. They are kind of scuba suits, aren't they?
They are scuba suits.
Oh, they are scuba suits. There you go.
They even say they're scuba suits.
They do. You're right. They do that. It's a Pontiac
Firebird thing.
Yeah, which they've converted.
Fiero,
which they've converted to be a rocket. Which the guys from Tokyo
Drift. Drift. What do you mean drift?
Have modded and send them up to space. Send up Tej and Roman to space to destroy a satellite with an EMP. No, with some magnets.
Magnets, yeah.
Which don't work. So then
they just drive
through it, which manages to obliterate the satellite, but not them. And then they float around and happen to come across a space station. Mm-hmm. And then get out of their Pontiac thing in their scuba suits. Mm-hmm. And don't implode.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's not believable. But they do explain why that would be the case.
They tried to. I don't think it's true.
No, it's not true. But those suits are designed to withstand massive pressure changes.
Yeah.
So like, that's where they're going with it. I don't think that... I think you would last longer than if you were just in a different suit. I don't think you would survive very long.
Yeah, I don't think long enough to matter in this situation.
No.
I think longer, but you're still talking like femtoseconds.
But...
I'm going to Google it, I'm interested.
Star-Lord survives out in the vacuum of space with nothing.
Yeah, he does, yeah. I take umbrage with that as well.
Yes. As does Gamora.
You survive space in a scuba suit?
No, is the answer.
No way.
Is that what it...
It's a forum, but just no way. But it's right. It's the vacuum space. It's the boiling point of liquids. So, like, pressure is neither here nor there, but the boiling point of liquids.
Yeah, but
so your blood would boil.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't think it would actually be a case of you could go to space in a scuba suit. Of course you fucking can't. But I think they took the logic in this movie gets thought, but it's about a minute.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like they've thought it through. Obviously, it goes. It's a deep water scuba suit as well, so it's meant to survive immense amounts of pressure, but they haven't taken into account anything else that happens in space. The fact that it's cold as fuck. As you say, the boiling point is completely different, which makes no sense to me.
But physics is weird.
yeah, but that's just physics. That actually happens. So yes, you would just cook from the inside out. That hasn't been taken into account, but there you go. Also, I loved how they were always talking about physics, maths, and science during that scene as well. It was just quite funny. And
then as part of that as well, the scene we've come out of Vin Diesel just putting down these concrete blocks with some chain. That whole sequence I felt was weird because I was like, why'd you go back? Like, he's climbing the ladder, he's about to walk out, and he goes, I'll deal with these. I'll see you there. Shuts the door, and then just decides to try and take on...
Well, it's to slow them down so they could get out, because they were right behind them. I don't know why he did it. It's obscene. The bit...
Dumb decision, Vin Diesel.
Do you know what I think is even more ridiculous than him pulling down the concrete blocks?
When there's like 15 of them running at him, and he just blocks it, Yeah,
it's 15 is...
It's
150.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I do appreciate some of the just straight up murder he performs in this. There's someone at your door.
There is. It's a cat.
Excellent. Some of the straight up murder he does in this scene is good fun. He throws a lot of them over the edge, but he falls over the edge as well.
That fight sequence is good. Like, there's some good choreography in the fight sequence, but it is like, this is a Captain America fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he then just grabs those chains and pulls down the ceiling of this huge concrete
pulls down
structure.
A silo.
Yeah. Like it's just like, it's just, I full on laughed out loud at that.
You did, yeah. That could be another series of videos we do. The ridiculous superhero antics in Fast and Furious in reality. Where we're just having that fight and go, oh shit, nothing's happening because I can't pull down an entire missile silo.
Well, it's constantly just being beaten to shit by 28 men at once.
Go to do the charge and then just get flattened by like 15 to 150 people. I didn't count.
There were many of them.
Try to pick someone up to break their back on a banister and just like, fucking come on, stop fighting me.
I do think they underutilized John Cena for like
hand-to-hand
stuff.
Of course they did. He's a fucking trained, like, performance fighter. So, of course, like, as in I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like, you're underutilizing him if you're not using him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's incredibly fucking proficient at.
Yeah,
that
I mean, it was
his profession for years.
Been making the same compliments in the last few weeks about The Rock, and then even like people like characters like actors like Jason Statham as well, which are fantastic stage fighters. But The Rock is a fantastic stage fighter, and so is John Cena, and he doesn't get much opportunity in this to really do.
He doesn't really do anything. He has one hand-to-hand scene, I think,
and it's very
brief.
He's very brief, and he's losing the fight. It's fine. He can lose the fight, but it means he's not getting the opportunity to really show off and do some cool sequences. Yeah, and that's a shame.
I think he's going to get a lot more. He's obviously going to be in 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's going to be on the good team, so I think he'll get a lot more. But that doesn't.
He'll get his chance. Yeah, he'll get his chance.
That doesn't excuse the fact that they highly underutilized him. They underutilized The Rock in that sense in 5. I think
they do.
As
yeah,
well.
It took until the last one he was in, where he fights Statham. The fight he has with Statham.
That was in 7, but he's in 8. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So the fight he has with Statham in the office building, I think, was his best fight sequence in.
Yeah. Although he did have that fight with Vin Diesel in 5.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. You are right.
He probably did a couple of bits in 6, but I can't remember. Mm-hmm. Oh, he throws that guy around the room, the interrogation room, doesn't he?
He does that, yeah.
So he does have a fight in each movie, but yeah, the best one, the one where they included the rock bottom, in 7.
And I like when they include a wrestler's finishing move in these. Yeah. I like it.
I have no idea what John Cena's is.
Yeah, he has a couple. It would be the FU, where he brings someone up on his shoulders and then flips over and slams him down.
Oh, okay. You can make that pretty cool.
One. Yeah, exactly.
You can make that cool. Yeah.
They like John Cena's, because John Cena's had like a couple of different character traits in WWE.
Yeah.
Like The Rock was always The Rock, and it was always the same thing. John Cena's gone through a few different like eras of John Cena and has changed his movesets around and stuff like that. So there could be.
I remember I always used to look at him and just, you look like a fucking idiot. I know it's his character. It's the point. Like the denim shorts and the really baggy t-shirt, the cap, baseball shirt. Yeah, this sweatband.
The Thugonomics.
Yeah, and you're just like, you look like an idiot. You look like a hit. It's the character. I appreciate. I'm not nothing against him, but then you sit like. Tight shirt, cargo pants, and the necklace, the slick hair, and you're just like, hey, actually, I would. Yeah.
he went through, because John Cena, like, when he was first in the WWE, was that Thugonomics era, is what they called it, and then he did a movie, WWE movie, The Marine, where he plays a Marine, and then
WWE movie?
Yeah, so they went through, there was a phase where, like, a lot of these movies were, like, endorsed and funded with WWE, and they would have WWE stars as the lead characters.
Is that why so many wrestlers became actors for a weird period of time?
Yeah.
I just thought they were all trying it because they saw The Rock succeed.
No, yeah, it was a whole thing that was funded with the WWE. Which probably came about from because The Rock succeeded. It's probably where that came about from. And some of them went on, because obviously, like, Batista did one, and then Kane did
some of them actually did quite well because they were actually good at it.
John Cena is an example.
John Cena is an example. Batista's an example as well. Yeah. But some of them, you're just like, oof.
Yeah.
Like Steve Austin and...
Yeah, well, they gave one to Kane.
I don't know who that is.
So Kane was kind of like a...
Is he the one with the sock?
No. But Kane was kind of like quite a creepy character within WWE. So they gave him a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
And they tried to give him a horror movie, but because they just made him another weird, creepy character, didn't really do much. He doesn't really do much acting in it. He's just Kane in it. Yeah. But he's just Kane in the horror movie, really. So it just didn't really work.
Was it See No Evil?
See No Evil, yeah.
Oh, he did a See No Evil 2 as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Who's the one with the sock?
I want to say Mick Foley. Or Mankind.
I think it's Mankind.
Who is also Mick Foley.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Mankind rings a bell. Mick Foley doesn't. Then I don't think The Undertaker did any movies, did he?
Don't think so, no.
Who's the one? Who's the one that I can't remember his name. He looked like a reasonably normal, attractive human being. Actually, that sums up quite a lot of them.
Yeah, that's
Triple H started doing movies. That's not who I'm thinking of. Short, like buzz cut, brown hair, lots of tattoos. Think it began with a K, or no? Think it began with a B.
I mean, it sounded like you were describing CM Punk at first.
It's not CM Punk. It's definitely not CM Punk. It's not CM Punk. WWE B.
K or a B. I mean, they're very different letters. One's a B, one's a K.
I meant B.
Batista.
No, it's not Batista. That does describe Batista. I appreciate it. But WWE wrestlers. He was on the cover of one, actually. WWE game covers.
He was on the cover of one?
Yeah. It might begin with a J, actually. Sorry, this is not good content.
I'm intrigued now.
But it's going to fucking bother me. I swear he was on the cover
Trying to
of
work
one.
out who would have been on the cover of one that isn't something you've already mentioned.
That's the... Rock, Undertaker...
Was it Randy Orton? You just went past the Randy Orton.
It is Randy Orton. Begins with an R.
But it's the K. I know he got the K from. His finishing move was the RKO, which is a thing that's gone around the internet. The RKO out of nowhere.
Let's see. Yeah, him.
Yeah. I don't know. He might have done some movie stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of... it's essentially just trying to think of wrestlers. Like, who's that?
I know his name and it's really irritating me. Brock Lesnar.
Who's that? Other than a member of Led Zeppelin.
He's a newer one. I think that's AJ Styles.
There was a Scottish one. I remember them.
Sheamus or something. I think his name
Yeah. That's John Cena, obviously. That's Jason Momoa.
was. It's not.
I know it's not Jason Momoa. I know Jason Momoa didn't come from WWE. There's one of them. I don't know any of the women's names.
I don't know any of them that's in it currently.
Was there one called China? Was she a wrestler?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
I don't think she's with us anymore.
There's Paige. No, China died. Yeah, I know that. Paige.
Paige was one. Yeah, she's not anymore.
Oh, did she leave? Because
No, she fucked her neck. She can't fight.
Oh, really?
She can't do anything. So she was.
That was the one
They had the
The
movie.
Rock made the movie
Yeah.
with. It was Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going out with Ronnie Radke,
Who?
lead singer of Falling Reverse.
Oh, I see.
But yes, I know the Great Khali.
No. I know nothing about wrestling.
Another wrestler. No, Paige was fucked. So she wasn't actually in it for very long. Made some huge change. Like
She was British, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And genuinely really
She's not dead.
inspirational to the women's diva side of it. And the diva side of it used to be just hypersexualized.
Yeah. That does not surprise me.
Yeah, and it was all just them having like mud fights and fights where the entire objective was just to strip each other down to their underwear and stuff like that. And it was all just entirely sexualized. She came in and like changed it to actually being more like normal WWE.
Just wrestling, yeah.
Still sexualized, but not as much as what it was. She came in
To a degree, the men's side of wrestling is kind of
I agree.
sexualized as well. But not as bad.
yeah.
And to a point where you'd be like, "Ooh."
Yeah, but she made it a lot better. But she wasn't in it for very long because she fucked herself. She like had a minor injury, had to take some time off, came back, and then had like a major like neck break and like spinal break and stuff.
Oh, shit.
And just she can't do it anymore. Like she's not. She
Well,
tried
yeah.
to. She tried to. They gave her like the all clear. She tried to go back and just was like, I can't do this. So yeah, she is retired.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But still probably making a mint from merchandising and the fact there's a movie about her and everything else. So,
100%. And I would be quite... If I am a man, I'd be quite flattered if I was played by Florence Pugh. Even if it was just Florence Pugh with a short hair and a
I
fake
also
beard.
think she managed to... I think she monetized... And I know this is bad, but I might be wrong. I think she monetized her sex tapes leaks.
If it leaked and you can monetize it...
Don't blame her.
Yeah,
Don't blame her.
100%.
I'm not sure if that's 100% true. I think that was the
If it
case.
is, good for her. Like, switch a shitty situation to benefit you. Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
fucking
she
do
had
that.
like loads. She had a huge leak. Loads of stuff that was out. So I think, best thing you can do in that scenario is to...
If you can make money from it, fucking do it.
It was her and what's his face, the guy that does stuff with kind of Xavier Woods.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why that's funny. Because it's still fucked for his perspective as well. But, like, really?
You say that, though. There was a bit on WWE where, like, they make, like... Obviously, that's all scripted, like, the banner stuff. But, like, when Xavier Woods is, like, doing one of his promo things, the guy he's against, like, makes some jokes about the fact that he's had sex tapes leaked and stuff like that. So he's clearly okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
But again, if they've monetized it...
I'd be reasonably okay with it as well. As long as I didn't come home one day and, like, my mother is watching it or something.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Anyway, Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, that.
That's why we're here.
That's fine. Their plots all over the place. Why can't ours be?
Exactly. The one thing I do find, obviously, there's no way around it. I get it. There's no way around it. But I do find it a bit weird, and I don't really buy that Mia's involved, but Brian
isn't.
Come.
Yeah, I thought that. Like, they just explained it away of like, well, he's looking after the kids. Right. I feel
He wouldn't let that slide.
I feel like Brian would come and Mia would look after the kids.
Well, I understand why Mia's there because it's her brother.
Yeah.
Like I get that.
But she's originally clearly called to babysit young Brian. It's like clearly Dom calls her like, you need to look after my kid while I go and deal with this because Jacob's back.
Well, no, he doesn't say that though.
Well, he didn't say that. Well, yeah, so he didn't say that, and then she just turns up
because she finds out.
She finds out, yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, well, I need to be involved in this. It is my brother as well." So I get that. I get why Mia is there, but from what we've seen from the character of Brian, he would not let her go by herself.
Oh yeah.
He would be there, and they would just hire a.
Yeah. They would find someone to look
after the kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no way around that. I get it. You can't have a whole movie. It's a bit disrespectful to have a whole movie and try and like CG.
I agree.
But
it's just it does still create just a little bit of like a
it creates that weird bit of a problem.
And I think because of the plot around it being a brother, I don't think they could have done it and left Mia out as well because you would have gone at the same time. Well, you would have thought that Mia would want to be involved in this.
No, I don't think there was a win in that scenario.
No.
This is obviously worth pointing out.
I do like just a little implication at the end that Brian pulls up at the barbecue at the end. Like it's just a nice little okay, fine, cool.
I agree. It was in the trailer.
Oh.
I don't know why people can't market movies. Why was that in the trailer? Why Rich didn't join the stream today? He's a terrible person. That's why. It's because he hasn't seen the movie. He doesn't want it to be spoiled. Don't know when he's ever actually going to watch this movie though, so I don't know really why it matters.
It's up to him.
I jab. And to be fair, I forgot that you can't rent this movie. You only have to buy it. So also completely fair. I wouldn't want to spend 14 quid on a movie I probably won't enjoy very much either. So, fully understandable. The with Mia situation, everyone else is pretty normal. See, you made a comment early in the movie when we saw Helen Mirren again that I thought was quite apt for this to be the movie that you said that in. It's just quite a little... joyous little thing in that. Why does everyone just know how? Like, why can everyone drive? And why can everyone? And by that, you obviously just mean so well.
Yeah, like drive. Yeah, I don't mean I can drive a car. I mean
it's more weird if you find someone who can't drive.
Yeah,
like don't have a license. But then we get Ramsey, who actually doesn't have a driver's license.
Yes,
so I quite enjoyed.
But
that.
also,
that scene they fucked the truck.
They fucked the truck because it's clear it's
got two pedals but a gear stick. Yep.
She gets in and she's like, right, two pedals, brake left, accelerator right. Okay, manual. And then she's changing gears the entire time.
You mean automatic?
Automatic, idiot. She's driving, changing gears the entire time. It's like, okay.
They're in Britain, so it would absolutely be a manual. Yeah. Unless it was just a shot, there is three pedals there.
But she said left brake, right accelerate.
Yeah, I know.
So that would be wrong. That would be left fucking Jesus Christ. And she grasps it pretty quickly and becomes quite good very quickly, as things go.
I mean, I don't think the physical act of driving takes very long to actually grab.
She was driving better than I was driving in that time frame. I'll tell you, I can say that.
That's because she doesn't have to also acknowledge rules of the road. This is a good
point.
She's just turning random corners. She's not slowing down.
And I suppose
that's the main issue people have. It's stopping.
Down, yeah.
Stopping in a manual car, you need to remember the clutch involvement. Whereas if you're just fucking hooning,
and if if it is a manual, she hasn't got to be worrying about that. And manuals are substantially easier to. Fucking idiot! Automatics are substantially easier to drive.
They are. But it was clearly a manual. It's implied that it's a manual, and it's also in Scotland, so it would absolutely be a manual.
As you say, a 7.5 ton truck, it's
it's unlikely to be automatic over here. Everything is unlikely to be automatic. This is the sort of thing where you get into a car and it's an automatic. Here, you're like, oh, why? Why is it automatic?
I'm not sure if I like driving. I've only driven one or two automatics.
I like it. To be fair, when I was driving them, I was doing a lot of long distance
Yeah,
motorway
I guess
stuff.
for a long distance
So
stuff, I'd
it's
prefer it.
pleasant because traffic can really do your fucking knee in.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So an automatic where you're just like, I don't need you. I don't need you at all. I'm just going to twirl my feet, leg out over the passenger seat. Don't ever do that. Unless you're completely flexible. You can just get your leg perpendicular to you. But I'd also question your trousers at that point. But that's pleasant. I like automatics. I don't mind them. Obviously, you can get more out of a manual. But yeah, Americans find it weird. But yeah, pretty much everyone drives manual over here. And you have to ask the question, can you drive stick? Over there. And most people go, no. Here, yeah. Fucking usually have to. I know one person who took an automatic test. I said, waste of time.
Yeah. Totally pointless.
Complete waste of time. Learn how to drive a manual, then if you want to drive an automatic, because that means if you need to, you can drive a manual.
Yeah.
But if you only learn how to drive an automatic, you can only drive an automatic.
Yeah.
Stupid. Whereas America, you're born with a license, it seems.
Yes, yeah.
One thing they have got right, though, is the insurance.
Insurance, insure the person, not the car.
Insure the person, not the car. Yes, exactly. So you can just drive anything. Here, you kind of can after a while.
To a degree, depending on your insurance terms and stuff like that, but it's limited.
Like, providing that you have insurance on your car, I can drive it.
Yeah.
At the moment.
And even then, it's only covered for like...
It's only covered-ish.
Yeah.
It's not fully covered. Like, I believe if I'm driving your car and had an accident, the insurance covers their car,
but not
your own.
Yeah,
I believe is how it works.
that is correct. And
Madness.
unless I put you down as a named driver on my insurance,
Unless I'm actually on the insurance.
which would then normally, in most cases, would bump the insurance up.
Depends.
It does depend, but
It depends. Depends on... In my case, it would absolutely bump your insurance up because I've claimed before. Because I hit a deer
yeah, because
and a person
putting Camilla on,
in a car, not a person.
putting Camilla on my insurance brought mine down. I just saw that as well. What?
What do you mean you don't have insurance? You can just drive rogue.
You see, that's I don't agree with that.
I kind of do, in a weird way. I'm not saying anyone should not have car insurance, but it would be nice if it was optional.
It would be redundant if it was optional. Because the point of everyone having insurance is that everyone is protected.
Yeah,
That's the point.
but I mean,
So it gives you all
people.
liability.
If you are the victim of an accident or something like that, or you're involved in an accident, not your fault, the other person's still going to get fucked.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have insurance. Like if you have insurance and someone hits you but they don't, they're still going to be the one that's fucked. They're going to have to pay for it in one way or another. So you kind of have, you don't have to insure your phone.
No, true.
You don't have to get health insurance.
Oh, I see. It isn't lawful, but nobody. So they're supposed to have insurance.
I
it's
see.
just not enforced.
I see.
I understand.
I see. That's a different scenario.
Yeah.
That's lawlessness. That's a country of bandits. But no, in reality, obviously, everyone needs to have car insurance. So it's one of those. It's one of those communist things. On paper, it's a good idea. It's an idea that could work. In reality, it would just be a case of no one has car insurance.
Yes.
And that somebody has an accident and no one can afford to do anything about it. Which is great. Like my deer incident cost me £850 with insurance.
To be fair, I doubt the deer had insurance.
Yes, but my insurance still paid for the repair. Honest, £850 is an excess. That's not insurance.
Why do you have your voluntary excess so high? Or is that the compulsory excess?
No, my compulsory access was like 500.
Lord.
Or no, my voluntary, but because I don't usually have accidents.
I've seen you claim on your insurance a few times in the time I've known you.
It's not true because it's only been twice.
That's more than me.
So It's not a few times, though, is it? It's a couple. It's a couple of times. I hit, and the deer is not my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
But I've been driving for years, and I never had any incidents, and I had 2 within a year. Really fucking pissed me off. Like, the one guy driving on the wrong side of the fucking road, and suddenly it's my fault. The guy I T-boned. Yeah,
I remember this.
The only reason I fucking T-boned you, mate, is because you're on the side of the cunting road. That's 3. Cunting road.
4. Oh, thank God Rich isn't here.
But I didn't have a camera, so I couldn't prove that he was on the wrong side of the road, and they sided with him because I wrote his car off. I scratched it, so it was a cheap piece of shit, so it deserved to be written off. He was driving on the wrong side of the road, like a bell end anyway, so it deserved to be written off. And the other one was a deer. I had 0 control over that incident. Just Bambi appeared suddenly from a bush, and it really fucked me off. That did, which has made this year's insurance more expensive.
I mean, that happens anyway.
I know, but I mean, I could move.
My insurance has gone up, and I've no reason why. It's just gone up.
That's why I move. I never stay with the same place for more than a year. I tried to,
and everywhere else was more expensive still.
That's ridiculous. Do you know how much I saved by moving this year?
I did leave it a bit late, to be fair, though, before trying to...
Do you know how much I saved by moving this year, even though it had gone up, so I couldn't put...
How much did it go up by?
When... What they were trying to make it go up by? Yeah. About £600.
Oh, mine went up by £30.
It went up by about £600. So they were trying to charge me £1,400 for the year. So I went on Compare the Market and went to the one that was charging me £700.
Yeah, this makes sense.
And then I called them up and said, I'm leaving. They were like, oh, what can we do to make it better? Reduce it by £750. And they were like, we can't possibly do that. I was like, well... I have someone who is offering it for me for literally half the price. Yeah. So unless you can match. And this also wasn't a cheap, shitty company. I'm with Admiral.
Yeah, I'm with Admiral. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm with Aviva. I've been with Admiral in the past.
So it's not like it's cheap. So, and they were just like, we can't do that. I was like, exactly. Which is why I didn't say you need to reduce my prices. I said, I'm leaving. So we've had this nice, fun phone call. But in the end, what happened? I'm leaving. Cancel my insurance, or we will be having words. Too much bored. Toom has said a taxi fucking banged our car from the back, and the back of the car was completely fucked. But since there is no insurance here, had to pay for the damages myself.
I rest my case.
That is why you have insurance.
Anyway, Fast and Furious.
It's kind of relevant. It's cars.
It's cars.
I need a new car.
I'm not sure I have much more else to say about this.
No, to be fair, I think we've covered everything, and we've covered everything reasonably well. I think we've got our points across. So shall we get to the ranking? Personally...
Well, the current ranking.
Current ranking, number 1 is Furious 6, number 2, Fast and Furious 7, number 3, Fast and Furious 8, number 4, Fast 5, number 5, The Fast and the Furious, number 6, Fast and Furious, number 7, Too Fast, Too Furious, number 8, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. Personally.
I mean, I know where I'd put it, but I don't know if we're going to agree.
I know where I'd put it as well, which is at number 4.
Oh, okay. See, I was going to go below the Fast... no, hang on. Yeah, I was going to go below the Fast and the Furious.
No.
So you're saying above Fast 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see this as being better than Fast 5.
I would accept below Fast 5. It's just I enjoy the action stuff way more than I do Fast 5. I think that's a fair
compromise, right? So if we do...
Below Fast 5.
So at number 5, below Fast 5 and above the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
I'm happy to settle on that.
Let me think about this, really. Not to put it higher, to whether or not I'd go below the 4.
See, I would say, although there are some... cool action sequences.
There's a lot of guff.
The Fast and the Furious have some really good action sequences still. It's the first one. There's some really good stuff in there. I think the Fast and the Furious has a better plot line. I think it has better use of the characters. It's better paced.
I agree with you. Put it at number 6.
Yeah. So that would
Fast 9 below the Fast and the Furious.
So that would make the ranking
Furious 6, Fast and Furious 7, Fast and Furious 8, Fast 5, The Fast and the Furious, Fast 9, Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift in last place.
as voted for. I know you.
As voted for, I disagree, yes, but as voted for, I'm not going to argue the voting. But as voted for by the audience, that positioning.
I'm really happy with that ranking. I think that's good. I think that's accurate.
Yep. And we, of course, will return to this when Fast 10 comes out.
Yep, yeah, absolutely we will, yeah.
Whenever that may be, and Fast 11 to wrap it up completely, and obviously we will add it to our rankings, so we need to save this
I'm just going to note it down now.
We should probably save it digitally.
1 is 6, 2 is 7, 3 is 8. This is confusing. 4 is 5. 5 is 1.
6 is 9.
7 is 4. 8 is 2. And 9 is 3. And then I'll save
We'll write that down properly.
I will make a nice fancy graphic. And we can put it up on the socials.
Yep. Cool. And then we'll have it forever. Because, yeah, I think we'll see that in a year's time when Fast 10 comes out and go, what is this cryptogram?
16, 27, 38.
Or 9.3, I don't understand.
Did we score them? I don't know.
But as this is the end of the franchise, I'm going to go and say, what have you thought of our run through watching these movies thus far?
I've generally had a really good time watching these. I'd never seen any of them before, so it's been my first time watching them. I didn't know much about them. I knew they existed, and I knew like a lot of the characters, a lot of the actors that were in it, but I really didn't know much about them. I've had a really, really good time. I really good time. I've enjoyed a lot of these really a lot large amount. There's a view, not so much. I really didn't like Tokyo Drift at all. Maybe I wasn't in the mood for it. Maybe I'll watch it again and go, actually, this is all right.
Doubt it.
But I've had a really good time with these, and you know, that kind of like for me the peak era of
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean 5 and 6. I think for me, personally, are my favourites. Personally, I think they just had the right chemistry between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and the way The Rock was in there. I just think that was when it was absolute best.
I mean, 5 is the one where it absolutely shifted into gear. And
I think, you know, I think for me, my favourite thing about all these films was Paul Walker. I really, really liked Paul Walker in all
same.
of
I
these.
do agree. I do agree.
Those ones where they were able to utilise him the best will be the standout ones for me. It's been my fondest ones because.
6 is my favourite still because it's got the crazy action stuff that I like. Even though some of it gets a bit more ridiculous and a bit more crazy, a bit more fun, it's got enough of the crazy to be still really enjoyable to watch. They've got obviously the ridiculous runway, and you have Paul Walker. Yeah. So it's that nice balance of
Paul Walker used and utilised really well.
Because obviously they were extremely limited for 7, even though he was there.
And he had some great moments in 7.
But
as we said, he got the fight on the bus.
Yep, absolutely.
Which was probably his best moment in the entire franchise.
But yeah, I think 6 is my favourite overall, and I doubt that is going to change in the last couple that come out.
Yeah, it'd be hard pressed for him to do that. They would have to really pull something out of the bag. Possible, but unlikely.
It is possible, but yeah, unlikely.
But I am now at the point where I am really excited about the idea of the next one. I'm going to see it at the cinema in IMAX.
Yep.
I'm really excited about the idea of seeing because there's going to be 2 more, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see how that gets.
They'll probably end up doing a million spin-offs.
Probably,
but,
I'd imagine so. But yeah, what you've done is you've given me a new franchise to love. So
excellent. I'm glad. It's the same with Mission Impossible as well. So I've given you 2.
Yeah, so. I would. I 100%. I think I prefer this to Mission Impossible.
No, that's absolutely fair enough. Probably the same. Yeah. Probably the same. I still love Mission Impossible. I'm excited for the new ones.
I think better characters and characterization.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Absolutely fair enough. X-Men starts next Tuesday, so a week today. And yes, the Deadpool movies will be included in the X-Men.
So to go over that again, that will be next Tuesday. Will be the first one, which will be the first X-Men film, and it'll be 12 weeks of Tuesdays. So it'll be X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, First Class, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, Apocalypse, Logan, Deadpool 2, Dark Phoenix.
It's going to be a long time because it feels like we've been doing this forever, and this is an additional 3 weeks.
The difference here, though, is like they're broken up into like different eras of films with X-Men.
Yeah, you could argue these are as well, kind of.
Sort of, but you've mainly got like the exact same cast.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah.
With the exception really being Tokyo Drift, and even then those characters also come back and are present. So, whereas this one you've got 3 lots of the original cast, the Deadpool movies, which are very different tonally. I'd say even like the first few like newer era stuff, so First Class, are quite different tonally to the first original X-Men.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. Yeah.
It's going to feel quite different as you go.
And as you say, like the quality massively, so it's going to mix up the
properly ups and downs. Yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to doing X-Men. I think we have some really interesting conversations about it.
For sure, it'll be good fun. Especially like X-Men is very important to the ecosystem that we have these days as well. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on,
Indeed.
I can't bend that finger back as far as the others. That's weird. Anyway. That was nice. That was pleasant.
Nauseating.
This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. No. Tomb says, but do you think that Ryan Reynolds will be in Multiverse of Madness? No, I don't think he's in it.
No, I don't think he's in it.
But I also wouldn't be surprised. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can join the chaos and carnage that is a conversation over on the Discord.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider and finally. If you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get 1 free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love.
I've done that.
Coming up in the channel, of course, this Saturday we will be talking about The Batman, the new movie with Robert Pattinson. I'm so sorry. The new Batman movie, of course, The Batman, we will be talking about that. And then on Tuesday, we will be kicking off the X-Men franchise. Of course, immediately after The Batman, we will be followed by Press Start. I believe Richard will be hosting a Cuphead stream on Wednesday as well. So,
as far as I'm aware, yeah.
We've done the story behind the Angry Toaster shirt. We told you last time.
We did tell you last time. This is true.
It was with the Matrix and the AI robots, and I was talking about them and how like living with AI in society, and then one day it would turn AI and just get annoyed. Stop putting bread in me, I'm an angry toaster.
It's very simple to follow.
It's very simple to follow.
Did we mention episode 100?
Not this Saturday, but the Saturday after is episode 100 of Admit One. I really hope you couldn't hear that.
I'm sure they could.
Of Admit One, and we will be having a party. So make sure to come by and join us for that celebration. It shall be a good time.
Someone at my door.
Given that they opened the door, I would presume it's the wife.
Could be a burglar. I want to check.
Could be, but they're in the house now, so the doorbell camera isn't going to do anything.
According to this, it's still the cat. It didn't capture it. That doesn't help me. There's you smoking.
Is that just because of how hot I am?
Oh no! Oh, there you go.
Should we end the show?
My wife has returned.
Let's end the show. Thank you very much for joining, and until next time, we shall see you then.